The dark secret of fascia, or fascia. I don't know how you say it exactly in English. Who cares? Let me first tell you a story before I get into it. It's not gonna be long, don't worry. I was about 18 years old, and weirdly I had a lot of knee pain, right? And for an 18-year-old, it's a bit weird. I was already like, dude, how am I gonna be at 60, right? And one night with my high school, we go to a theater, right? Actual theater, not cinema. But there, the seats were extremely horribly placed. If you had legs longer than a toddler's, your knees would be completely stuck on the seat right in front of you. And the play lasted like 2 hours. So for 2 hours, I had my knee completely smashed against the chair right in front of me. And after that night, I would keep having those intense knee pains every once in a while. And the weird thing is, it would go from one knee to the other. Like there was a sort of imbalance between the two, and it would just bounce around depending on the situation. I will admit, one of the other things I might have done is, because I was sitting on a chair a lot back then, whether it was in class, whether it was at my house, and I wasn't working out as much. I would go to the gym, but maybe not as much. It might have influenced my knees as well. But most of all, it's because even though I worked out, I didn't know one big secret about fitness and about health in general, which is fascia. So maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't, but I'm going to explain it right away. Because once I discovered this secret, I never had any pain anymore. At least as long as I kept doing it. So fascia is basically, let's say that's your arm, right? Don't mind the drawing, okay? That's your arm. That's your skin. Below the skin is the bone, right? And blah, 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 blah. And in between the two, I'm oversimplifying, okay? There are a bunch of other things, but it's just so that you can understand fast. In between the two, there's a layer. A membrane that is a bit like the skin, but is inside of it, right? Really, it's closer to the skin than that, but you know what I mean. And this membrane allows for the good functionality of the rest of the body, of the bones, of everything else. Again, I don't have the details to that extent. I just know it's good because I'm not a guy who goes into crazy details. I just need to know what to do, what not to do, and what's good and what's not good. And I think that's the same for you to some extent. And if you do exercises that stimulate the fascia, that make it mobile, that make it elastic, that make it healthy, right? Stimulate blood flow into the fascia as well, then your body is going to, how should I say it? It's going to handle stress better. And it's going to, as a whole, be more mobile, be more agile, be more healthy. So there are a bunch of exercises that could help with this, right? A bunch of stretches, a bunch of different things. But I wasn't able to make any of them last for a while because it was just too complicated, right? It was the kind of very straightforward routine, like you give yourself 10 to 15 minutes and you have to stretch. And I couldn't be bothered with it because it's like it's stationary and you don't have anything else to do at that point. It's pretty annoying. So I used a method that I've been using now for a while and that I've used as well to lose weight and to do a bunch of other things without putting much effort into it, is to simply stack habits together. So if I'm watching a movie, if I'm playing video games, if I'm doing whatever it is, I'm going to stack stuff around it. For example, when I play League of Legends, every game, like after the game or in between two games, I go and I do a cycle of working out, right? I just train. I do pretty much a full body, but only one cycle. I don't do several sets. I do one set of a bunch of exercises, then I go back to playing, and then after the next game, I do the second set, and so on and so on and so on. That's how I do things. For this fascia stuff, since there are, I think, 7 postures that are supposed to work, but I've only found 3 for free, and I've only found 3 that are practicable while you're sitting, and so that are doable while you're on your computer watching a movie or playing video games or just eating or something, right? And you can just do that at that point. So those three are, how should I call them? Semi-Seiza, Lotus Seiza, and toe curl. I just came up with those names, okay? It is what it is, because that's what they make me think of. So I'm gonna show you real quick what it looks like. All right, don't mind the mess. It is what it is. I sleep on the ground because I like it, so who cares? So the Semi-Seiza, right? Yeah, Semi-Seiza, the first one. Basically, you have one feet in front of you, and you sit on the second foot, like this. Maybe you don't see it from here, so I'm gonna show you from the back. Like this, you let it this way, you let it go this way, and you sit on the heel of it. And you just try and find a comfortable position, and then the feet rests here. Most of your butt is on the heel, basically pushing it down on the ground. And then you just change positions. Again, like this. Boom. And you just stay like this for a while. I don't know if you saw it correctly. The second, so Lotus Seiza. I say Lotus Seiza because there's a part of it where it's like this, right? Like sitting in a lotus position. And the second one is Seiza, which is your feet resting beneath it. But this time, you don't sit on the heel. I'm going to show you. This time, it just pretty much rests here. And again, it puts pressure on it. And so it stretches this whole part beneath. And still puts a lot of pressure on the fascia towards the ground. Again, you can change afterwards and just do this. And you stay like this until you feel like that's it. Like it has been getting a lot of blood flow. It has been working for a while. Then you can change. And the last one, the toe curl, is you like this, basically, like the first one here, except this time instead of sitting on the heel, you sit on the toes being curled. A bit like you're trying to reach up to something. You're letting the toes stretch themselves. I'm going to show you from behind. Again, you sit like this. Now, that's normal. Now you sit on it. And you should feel a big stretch here. And again, you can switch afterwards. Once you felt like it's been a while, you switch, sit on it a little bit. Not completely, not like slouching on it. Just enough so that you feel the stretch here, and you stay like this. And now, I will say this again. You're not supposed to do this in a very straightforward manner, right? You don't have to tell yourself, I'm gonna stay in these positions for like 3 minutes each and all that shit. You don't need to count anything. It's just when you're on a chair and it's been a while you're sitting, just start doing these positions. 1, and then 2, and then 3, and so on. And you go through the 3 I just showed you on each side. The last one, the toe curl, it's probably not gonna last as long as the others because it's more intense on the toes, but it's fine, right? You just switch between them. Don't do them for too many cycles, like at once. Otherwise, you're gonna start to feel your knees really stretched out, and it might, everything is in an inverted U curve, right? You can have benefits for a long time, but at some point it starts to fade and to become not benefits anymore. And like around here, you want to stop. So maybe you do 2-3 cycles, depends on you, right? Depends on your day, depends on how much time you have, or just how much you want to do that day, right? Sometimes I just don't do it at all. But as long as I do it regularly in my routine, in my life, I don't have knee pain anymore. Also, it takes back pain away because most of the back pain we get from sitting isn't necessarily from sitting itself. It's just that we stay in the same position forever. It's exactly the same thing as if you were lying down in the same position forever. You can see like patients who can't move their bodies. People make them move their bodies not only to stimulate their muscles, but because if they didn't, it would accumulate some sort of like pain in some positions. So as long as you move in between those 3, and like maybe even a squat on your chair or wherever you are, you're not gonna have any back pain, you're not gonna have any knee pain. So that's pretty good. Still, I would advise you walk around a little bit and use this whole thing I talked about before, which is cycling your workouts in between your activities, right? When you're chilling and just doing something that doesn't make sense, for example, you're scrolling YouTube or TikTok, tell yourself, every one video, I'll start doing this whole seating thing. Every one video, I'm gonna just do some push-ups, all this kind of stuff. Or you just tell yourself you do it while watching the video. That works as well. But for the working out, I understand it's a bit annoying because you can't just work out continuously. So it's better to have cycles, right? You tell yourself every 30 minutes, every 2 videos, this kind of stuff. You give units. And by giving units, everything starts to stack together. And it just becomes a fun routine instead of an annoying workout that you have to put in within your day. So now you know how to make your knees and your lower joints feel healthier. But without the correct lifestyle and recovery throughout the day, you'll still feel pain in a bunch of other parts of your body, even inside. If you want to avoid that, watch this right now. And don't forget, work on the inside and the outside will follow. Take care, man. Johnny.